Again, ladies and gentlemen, we will get started here momentarily. We're just giving everybody a little bit of grace time to get logged on to our live event tonight. Again, we want to welcome all of our future Brave students and their families to our elective registration event. We'll get started here momentarily with a little presentation from our principal, Mr. Armin Tarigian. And then from there, we'll be giving you guys information including athletics information about various clubs that we have on campus. We'll go through our various electives that we offer, and then to round out the night, the piece de resistance, if you will be information about how you and your students, or rather students, I hope I'm talking to you as well, you and your families can go about registering for your electives for the following school year when you are with us here at Tenaya Middle School, all as Braves. So again, Mr. Tarigian is going to get us started here. Mr. Tarigian, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Armin Tarigian, and I'm honored to be the principal here at Tenaya Middle School. Again, I am also a product of Tenaya, and I attended Tenaya back in 85 and 86, 87 years, and I am just so honored to be able to serve our community and our school. I'm excited to have right now about all 50 of you on paying attention and watching. I do want to welcome you to Tenaya. We've got a nice little presentation for you guys. So, Mr. LeMay, along with our school counselors and our athletic director, we're going to have a little presentation for you to let you know a little bit more about Tenaya and what Tenaya is going to look like for your student next year. Tonight, we are going to help them out in going through their elective rankings to pick their electives. And through this presentation, you will be able to see the types of electives that we do offer here at Tenaya. And just know that we're excited. Can't wait to actually get back on campus in the next month and see kids running down the, well, hopefully not running, but down the hallways and hearing their voices and seeing them in class. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us tonight. We look forward to helping you out in any way possible. And if you ever have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call our counselors or myself at the school site. And our main office number is 451-4570. And we will do whatever we can to make sure that we can help you out in any possible way for the next coming school year. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you back to Mr. Austin LeMay, who happens to be our campus culture director, as well as our leadership teacher on our campus. So Mr. LeMay, I'm turning you over live right now, and the camera should be on you. Oops, excuse me, it's not.
Are we good to go?
You are good to go, Mr. LeMay. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you very much, Mr. Tarigian. We appreciate it. And again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our annual 6th grade registration event. Obviously, the circumstances have been changed up a bit. I'm sure we're all a little tired of hearing that party line, but as we all know, things have been different this last year. And this is, while this is not the first time we have ever done this in terms of getting our future Braves, our 6th graders, our incoming 6th graders, soon to be 7th graders, ready for their first year as a Tenaya Brave with getting them registered for their preferred electives. This is the first time that we're doing it online. So as we have all been doing so throughout this entire year, before we start off, we ask first off for your patience and for your grace. Now we have had, I'll say at least on my end as a teacher here at Tenaya, I have been floored by the kindness and by the patience of all of my students, and in particular their families as well, because we have all, all of us, teachers, students, families, administrators, counselors, janitors, have all been asked to make a great many changes in our everyday lives with regards to getting ourselves to school every day or getting our students to school every day. And, we've all been doing a really good job at changing with the ever-changing times. So before we start off, and if I may ask for a personal favor before I start off here, if we have any technical difficulties, or if there's any, more importantly, if there's any information that we provide tonight that is not clear, or if we don't provide some information tonight that you would like answers to, We ask you to do one of a couple things. First off, you have the option of asking questions in the question and answer section over there on the side of your Teams page right now. Now, we'll be upfront in saying that we don't plan on publishing many of the questions, so it will look like not many people are asking questions, but what we aim to do is answer any and all questions that come into us tonight. So while I may not be answering the questions directly, please know that we have a team of administrators and school counselors and school teachers behind the scenes right in front of me here, as a matter of fact, and behind me in their offices, answering all of your questions that come into the Q&A section. And before we really get going with the meat and potatoes of this presentation, we want to make sure that everybody is on board and clear to the fact that we are not presenting information tonight about the reopening of schools starting on April 6th of this year. As I'm sure many of you know, the information about the reopening of schools, not only this spring, but also next fall, is still becoming more and more clear as the days go by. So tonight, the thing that we are focusing not primarily on, solely on, is getting your future Braves registered for their 7th grade electives for next year. If you have any questions about the reopening of schools, this spring, we ask that you both be patient and wait, because information is coming down the pipeline over the next couple of days. But if you have any information, or if you have any questions rather, about the reopening of schools at your particular school site, we would encourage you to contact your site leaders, your school's main office, and they should be able to provide you with more information that is pertinent to you guys at your current schools. And let's all be honest, we hope that by the time next fall rolls around, we can have everybody back on school here at Tenaya. And that information will be coming along the pipeline here in the coming months. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are hopefully by the end of the night going to get all of our spectators here signed up for your future electives during your first year here at Tenaya Middle School. So let's get going with our presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And again, thank you all very, very, very much for being here. For anybody that misses out on a bit of information or has any questions, again, ask them in the question and answer section over on your side. And also know that this entire presentation, both the recording of it and the PowerPoint presentation that we're showing you all throughout this evening, will be shared to your site principals in the coming days, and they should be emailing these presentations to you all as well, along with a bunch of other information if you miss anything tonight. So away we go. First off, folks, a little bit of an overview of our presentation tonight. We are going to first talk about what your basic schedule is going to look like when you are a 7th grader here at Tenaya Middle School, because while you are only in one class with one teacher right now, you got to understand, and you will understand very soon, that you are going to have at least 6 different classes with 6 different teachers when you go from elementary school to middle school. And we're going to talk a little bit about that difference and what to expect to begin the night. We're also going to be giving everybody informations about athletics and activities that are offered here at Tenaya Middle School. Obviously, athletics have taken a little bit of a pause over the last couple of months, but we are very excited to hear that athletics are starting to kind of slowly matriculate back into existence. And we're going to provide you with some information about our sports here at Tenaya Middle School, as well as various activities that we have here at Tenaya too. So mainly the clubs that we offer here at school that have been taking place virtually and will continue to take place when we revert back to in-person learning. Again, the main piece of information we're going to share with you is information about the electives that we offer here at Tenaya. And then we will also be talking about the online elective tool ranking that you will use to select your chosen electives. We'll also be giving information about our Accelerated Tech Academy, which I'm sure many of you in the community know as our laptop program. So with all that being said, folks, again, very excited to have you all here tonight. And to start off our events with actual information that's going to be shared out with you, I'd like to pass the microphone off now to one of our academic counselors here at Tenaya Middle School, Mr. Eric Vang.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. LeMay, for doing a terrific introduction. My name is Mr. Vang. I'm going to be the 7th grade academic school counselor for next year. So for you 7th graders, the ones I'm staring at right now, you will be my students. And I am so grateful and so blessed to be your 7th grade academic school counselor for next year. So, again, with what Mr. LeMay said is that you will have classes with more than one teacher. So I know in 6th grade, you have one teacher throughout the whole entire year. You have 30 students in that class that you build terrific relationships with. But guess what? You guys are going to be in classes from all of the feeder schools at Tenaya. So your arch nemesis at Lawless, guess what? They're going to probably be a part of your class. You guys are going to make quite a few friendships over here at Tenaya Middle School, and that's what we want. Okay, so classes, the basic schedule here at Tenaya is going to be 5 core classes. 5 mandatory core classes that you're going to need and will have are English, history, science, math, and PE. And then the last class is going to be your elective, which is what we're going to be doing later on in during this presentation. So if you look to the right, you will see an example of how your schedule will look like. Okay, you will have one class, 1 through 6, and then you will have one with a 1M, which is an advisory. Now at the top of this schedule, you will have your name, and then you will also have a parent login information for your parents who want to get access to your attendance, your grades, and how you're doing in your classes. And then you will also have your username login and the password to get into your personal Atlas account. So this will be your basic schedule. And for now, I'm going to hand it back off to our other middle school counselor, Miss Moya.
Good evening, parents and students. I am actually the current 7th grade counselor, and I will be going on to 8th grade, but Mr. Bing and I work closely together, so we're always here to help you guys with any questions that you have. I will be presenting on English and math placement. So this is really important for those students that want to take GATE classes when you come to Tenaya. So for this year, we will be looking at your SBAC scores and your iReady diagnostics. So please take this test seriously, as all of you will be taking this in May. Students that score, above or exceed standard will be going into GATE classes. For those that do not meet the standard, then will be placed in our general ed classes. So this also applies to math. Students have the option to take Math 7 Accelerated, which will prepare them for algebra in 8th grade. If students get placed into accelerated math as a 7th grader, then you are showing that you're ready with your iReady scores and your SBAC scores. This is how the district determines where students get placed. So this will be happening in the next few months as we start preparing for your schedules and get ready for the master's schedule. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, but I will go ahead and give this over to Mr. LeMay.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Moya and Mr. Vang. Again, ladies and gentlemen, those are your Tenaya Middle School academic counselors. They are vitally important people to your academic life and to your academic success. And over the last year, every year, every day of every year, they are incredibly hardworking individuals. But this year, more than ever, they have done a lot of work, a lot of time in the trenches, getting our students here at Tenaya, and also you students at all of our feeder elementary schools, future Braves, prepared and ready for not only their future success, but also for the success that they have here during their time as Braves. So right now, folks, what we'd like to talk to you about is our GATE Accelerated Tech Academy. Now, again, as I said at the beginning of our presentation, how many of you folks may be familiarized with this program of ours, with this very unique program of ours, is how we've used to refer to it as our GATE laptop program. The program itself is going to be run very, very much the same as it was when it was called the laptop program, but we are changing with the times, and therefore we're changing the name of our caveat here that we offer at Tenaya. So for that, so with all that being said, folks, we want to provide you with a little information here. Again, Accelerated Tech Academy here at Tenaya Middle School. Our Accelerated Tech Academy is a specialized 2-year tech program. Now, typically, when you come into Tenaya Middle School, if you are going to take part of this program, you will have applied for the program as 6th graders, and you will take part in this program both as 7th and as 8th grade students. What do? Well, you do various things, folks, particularly creative project-based learning at a GATE, which is really a pre-AP level in English, U.S. history, and science. Now, this takes place of your traditional English courses, your history courses, and your science courses. So where your peers that are not in the Accelerated Tech Academy will also have these classes, you select few students that are apply and are placed into our Accelerated Tech program will be taking these classes, but at a much higher accelerated level, both in terms of rigor and in terms of expectations and standards. If you have any siblings or if you families have any children that are in the high school level right now, this is essentially the equivalent to what high schoolers do in AP classes or in honors classes. This is, again, our Accelerated Tech Academy, our honors program. Before everybody had a laptop in their hand for distance learning, this was our laptop program. These students would not only do their normal learning at an accelerated rate, but they'd also be injecting and infusing the technological aspect of it into their everyday lives as well. And you will continue to do so when we come back to in-person learning here as well. By the end of your time in the Accelerated Tech Academy, you will be able to master all Microsoft Office applications through the Microsoft Office suite, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. You will be proficient in using Google Classroom, Office 365. You'll be turning assignments in through turnitin.com. You'll use Khan Academy while preparing for Bullard for your high school years and beyond. As a former GATE laptop student at Tenaya Middle School, I can very much say without a doubt that this program prepared me for the rigors of high school, for the rigors of college, and more importantly, for the rigors of an adult professional life. So if you are at all interested in our Accelerated Tech Academy, there are some things that you need to make sure that you are following, or rather that you are achieving prior to applying for this program. So students who apply for this program, and my apologies, folks, for some reason like I said, I'm having technical difficulties here. There we go. Let me just go back 1 second. There we go. So again, students who apply for this program must have excellent behavior, both personal and online citizenship, and your responsibility will be taken into consideration. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, students who are typically, or not typically, but rather students who have issues with their behavior that is documented in Atlas, that will be held against you if you are trying to apply for our Accelerated Tech Academy, because with all due respect, the petty nuisance issues are things that we do not tolerate with our Accelerated Tech Academy students. You need to be exemplars not only in the classroom, but you need to be exemplary people on your own behalf as well. You also need to have a great GPA, between 3.0 and 4.0 GPA in both in 7th grade. If you're applying as a 7th grader, you need to have between a 3.0 and a 4.0 GPA. And as 6th graders, your GPA also will be taken into consideration. Your test scores also will be taken into consideration. That hopefully you are exceeding standards, that you've at least met standards in English, math, science, and that you are GATE certified from your elementary school. A personal laptop to bring to school daily. So even when we come back to school in person, you will be expected, if you are in our Accelerated Tech Academy, to bring a laptop to school every day. It will run off the newest Microsoft Office suite, and we'll be using the newest Office 365 applications, which is, as always, is free through Fresno Unified School District. Now, and if you have a Fresno Unified issued laptop that many of us have been provided with during our spat with distance learning, that will also be acceptable to use as well. Lastly, a desire to be academically challenged is required to be in our Accelerated Tech Academy. What we want, folks, is for you to understand that if you are to apply for our Accelerated Tech Academy, you are wanting to be the best of the best. At Tenaya Middle School, we have a tradition of excellence. We have a tradition of champions, or rather of forming, of founding, of cultivating champions, both on the field of play, in your chosen extracurricular activities, and most specifically within the classroom. And if you want to be a part of our Accelerated Tech Academy, you got to make sure that you are at the very least trying to be the cream of the crop, the best of the best, because at Tenaya, we are the best. And if you want to be in our Tech Academy, we want you to be the best of the best. So with that being said, folks, if you'd like to apply for our Accelerated Tech Academy, you need to go to our Tenaya Middle School website at at fresnounified.org/schools/Tenaya. And once you go to our website, you will see a scrolling box in the middle of our website with various bits of information. And you will find this actual poster here, the Tenaya Accelerated Tech Academy poster that you're seeing kind of towards the middle left-hand portion of your screen right now. You will find that poster, you'll click on it, and it will take you directly to the application form where you can sign up to be a part of our ATA. And now that I've brought about an acronym for it, I wish I would have used it about 5 minutes ago, because I think all of you guys are already tired of hearing me say Accelerated Tech Academy. But again, we very much want you guys to apply for this if you feel up to that challenge. So, with that being said, folks, one other thing, if you'd like to apply now, you can hold up your phones to the screen and use the QR code right there and pull up the application and begin applying now for our Accelerated Tech Academy if you are at all interested. I'll give everybody about 30 seconds to get your phones out here and pop up that application on your phone if you'd like to take the time to do so now. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to pass off the microphone now to our athletic director and a very close personal friend of mine, Miss Shannon Huggins. Mrs. Huggins is going to provide us with some information about our athletics here at Tenaya Middle School. So, Mrs. Huggins, whenever you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. LeMay, for that warm welcome. Welcome, parents, and hopefully soon to be Braves. Like Mr. LeMay said, my name is Shannon Huggins. I am the athletic director at Tenaya. I'm also one of the physical education teachers as well, so you very well could end up in my class. Like LeMay said earlier, obviously our athletics looked a little, challenging and different this year. However, we completely 100% anticipate returning to full athletics at the start of next school year. The great thing about Tenaya athletics is, one, we are extremely competitive in all of our sports. In most of our sports, we have at least 5 championships, and we like to do awesome stuff with our athletes. We do a walk of champions at the end of every season, to where you get to show off kind of that pride in winning for the team, for the school. Through athletics, our students and our student athletes learn really important life skills, being competitive, striving to do your best. Not only that, but the teamwork, the structure, even a little bit of that respect, sportsmanship, conflict resolution, character building, all of that goes into building up our student athletes. And I'm going to tell you guys, our student athletes are sought after, especially at the high school and even collegiate levels. I was not a Bullard student, so I unfortunately cannot boast that. However, my brother-in-law is now in the Bullard Baseball Hall of Fame, and he went through Tenaya. So there's a long-standing legacy of some proud athletics on the Tenaya Middle School campus. We are one of the most competitive middle schools as far as athletics goes in our division, and we're pushing to even be even more competitive next year by moving into different leagues and kind of spreading our wings and showing off what our Tenaya students can do, and our student athletes are held to a really, really high standard on our class or on our campus. We have a goal that every student can participate in athletics, and we offer many different types of athletics. But the big thing is, in order to participate, one, you're a student athlete, you're a student first. So of course, making sure that you're maintaining that at least 2.0 GPA, honestly, strive for that 2.5. That's the collegiate GPA that you need to have. So you might as well just kind of set that foundation, hit the ground running. Good sportsmanship, great behavior. Again, our athletes, our student athletes, they're leaders on our campus. But we do offer a multitude of athletic opportunities for our students. We do offer 4 full quarters of sports. Okay, so quarter 1, we have cross country, we have football, which is the 7th and 8th grade teams. We have girls golf as well as girls volleyball. Our competitive cheer is also in that first quarter. Cheer being not only the sideline cheer during football and basketball season, but also the competitive cheer that comes along with that as well. Second quarter, we offer boys basketball, boys soccer, girls soccer, and wrestling. Wrestling is co-ed, so we do have some young ladies that participate on our wrestling team as well. Third quarter, we offer boys baseball and girls basketball. And then fourth quarter, we round everything out with boys volleyball, boys golf. Mr. LeMay is our wonderful boys golf coach, and he is amazing at that. Girls softball, tennis, boys and girls, and then track as well. So again, tons of athletic opportunities. If your child is interested in athletics, feel free to send me an email. My email will be included at the end of this presentation, and we can definitely make sure that we get all the necessary steps so that your child can be a successful student athlete here at Tenaya. Mr. LeMay, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Huggins. Yes, I am the golf coach here at Tenaya Middle School. I'm very much chomping at the bit to get back to our normal sports schedule. I'm also a football coach here on campus, and I know I speak for all of our coaches when I say we miss our athletes. And once we're able to get back on our field of play in earnest, whether it be on the out on the grass or in the gymnasium or on the court or out on the links, if you're a golfer or wherever it is, folks, that you guys play your chosen sport, we're so very much excited to get sports going back up. And again, as Mrs. Huggins said, we have a tradition of champions here at Tenaya Middle School. As a matter of fact, last year, if we had rounded out, or rather if we had been able to finish out the entire year of sport, we would have won a championship in all but maybe 2 or 3 of the sports that we offer at Tenaya Middle School. We've been on a tremendous successful run in athletics, and we very much aim to keep that tradition going as soon as we get all of our Braves, all of our athletes back on campus. Now, athletics are not the only thing we champion here at Tenaya. We also provide a robust schedule of activities for all of our Braves to participate in. And as activities director, I also oversee all of our clubs that we have on campus. Now, something we're very proud of is how our clubs have transitioned to this new age of learning on the internet here during distance learning. At the beginning of the year, we were very concerned about what are we going to do? How are we going to engage our students? And throughout this last semester, we have done a tremendous amount of work, not only myself, but all of our very experienced, very passionate, outgoing club sponsors have taken their clubs out of the classroom and onto Teams. And all of the clubs that you see before you here, folks, have been operating this entire school year virtually. We offer right now, and I'm not counting right here, I should know it, but I believe at last count, we offer at least 13 clubs. We have an anime club, a band club. Our Brave Bites club over this last year has essentially turned into an online cooking course where our club sponsor, Mrs. Alvarez for that club, takes students through various cooking activities. If you can see the quesadillas right down there at the bottom of your screen, that was last week's creation that the Brave Bites Club came up with at lunch. I love that club, and they make some delicious food. We have our Black Student Union, our choir club, our gardening club, Mrs. Williams, our gardening club sponsor, gets to oversee the greenhouse garden that we have here on campus. And actually, during the Christmas break, Mrs. Williams went to our gardening club members' homes door to door and delivered various supplies that our students are using now and have been using these last couple of months to create their own gardening projects at home. So we're very happy with the success of our gardening club. Gender Sexuality Alliance, Lunch Bunch Club, Movie Mates Club, another club that's been sponsored by Mrs. Alvarez, where students have been going online on Fridays from 3:30 to 5:30 to watch movies of their choice. And then it's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have or are familiar with the old TV show Mystery Science Theater 3000, but if you ever watch that TV show where the robot, the alien, and the host of the show were kind of talking over the movie and making little jabs at the movie, that's kind of what our Movie Mates Club does online via the chat application on Teams here. It's a lot of fun. They've been doing they've been keeping themselves entertained and engaged, most importantly, during this time where obviously a lot of students are struggling to find connections with each other. Our Movie Mates Club right now has over 100 members. And when you have a school that is only has about 850 students at it, to know that we have 1 out of every 8 students participating in our Movie Mates Club, you obviously know that the students are having a great time doing that. We also have Nintendo Club, Outdoors Club, our Outdoors Club. Excuse me, I'm getting excited. I'm talking too fast. Our Outdoors Club over the next 2 weeks are going to be going out and participating in some nature walks. A couple weeks ago, a small handful of students and our club sponsor went up to Millerton Lake and took a trail around the hike around the hiking trails up there. Obviously practicing social distancing and keeping all personal protective wear on at all times. But again, getting students outdoors and involved in nature. We also have our reading club, our virtual field trip club, which our club sponsor, Mrs. Sadu, has taken it upon herself to provide various virtual field trip opportunities for all of our club members this year. Has done a fantastic job with that. And then last but not least, Voices Unidas, which is our service club. So if you are involved or interested in getting involved in various community service projects throughout our greater Fresno community, Voices Unidas is certainly the club for you. Now, one point I want to make very clear here, ladies and gentlemen, is that all Tenaya clubs are created by students and teachers. So if you don't see a club here that interests you, but you have an idea for a club that you'd like to start here at Tenaya, I tell you what, you have the opportunity to do so. So again, at Tenaya, every single year, we add anywhere from 2 to 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 new clubs in a given school year, because students are the ones who take creative capacity in starting all of our clubs here at school. So again, when you guys become Braves, if you have an idea for a club, I'm the person that you can talk to in order to get this club out of your head and into reality, so that you and your fellow Braves can start enjoying like-minded activities together. Now, folks, again, we know that we are all here for a reason, and that reason is to get information about the elective registrations, or rather, to get information on how you can register for your electives here at Tenaya Middle School. Now, we offer a host of electives here at Tenaya. And by the way, folks, before I continue, what I mean by our electives. Again, if you go back to the beginning of our presentation, we have 5 core classes that every student, whether you're a 7th grader or an 8th grader, has to take. And there is no option in that. You have to take an English class, a math class, history, science, and you have to take PE. Now, your varying levels of those classes will be determined by your test scores, by your applications if you apply for the Accelerated Tech Academy, and will also be decided by a host of other factors that get taken into consideration. The one class that you have, I would say, for the most part, have complete say in choosing for yourself or for your student is your elective. That one class out of 6 that right now, tonight, You get to have a voice in selecting for yourself. So with that being said, the electives classes that we offer here at Tenaya, because they are different from school to school to school, are as follows. We offer sections of Spanish here at Tenaya as our foreign language component, both Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. And if I may kind of piggyback on our Accelerated Tech Academy, our Spanish courses are very much run to prepare you not only for your Spanish courses in high school, but they are very much geared to get you prepared to take advanced courses in Spanish, like AP Spanish when you are in high school. So again, if you apply for Spanish, know that you are going to be pushed to do as good as you possibly can so that when you get to high school, when you get to college, and as you continue on throughout life, you can excel at that foreign language if you choose to take that class. We also have a range of musical options for you to participate in. You can, if you are interested in choir or band, intermediate band, we also have advanced band. So as you can see there, we have 3 different varying levels of band. And depending on your experience in band as elementary school students, you can decide on which level of band best fits you. We also have an orchestra option and a new jazz band option that is being offered for the 2021 and 2022 school year. Now, my area of expertise is the leadership option. I, as the leadership director at Tenaya Middle School, oversee both of our leadership courses. We have an intro to leadership class, or as we have on here on this presentation, highlight or labeled just as leadership. And for most of our 7th graders, that is the course, if you choose to be in leadership, that you will be placed into. With that said, if you have leadership experience at your school currently, which I know that very many of you probably have taken part in leadership activities at school, whether you are ASB officers like your school's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, historian, if you are involved in leadership within your own athletic team, or if you fancy yourself a leader, just generally speaking, then you could also apply for our advanced leadership course or indicate in your application that you'd like to be considered for our advanced leadership course, where in advanced leadership, you will be essentially the task doers at our school. You will have a direct say in determining what activities we do. If you are interested in not only going to school dances, when we're allowed to go back to school dances, but if you're not only interested in going to the school dances, but you actually want to have a say in what the themes are, what music is played, what the when the dance is scheduled, what day and what time. Advanced leadership is the course for you. If you want to be a part of planning and throwing different rallies on campus, if you want to be streamlined into various community service activities, if you have aspirations of making a difference at this school over the next 2 years, then leadership is the course for you. I'm obviously biased, but our leadership students very much dictate the culture at this school. And by culture, I mean this, folks. And again, I know I'm kind of going off script here. I apologize. But by culture, I mean this. And as a former Tenaya student, I'd like to speak on this for just a moment. You know, we understand that a couple of years ago, Tenaya Middle School, if you knew somebody that went to Tenaya Middle School, they may have so-so things to say about it. Over the last 3 years, especially since Mr. Tarigian has taken the helm as our principal here, we have done a tremendous amount of work to rewrite the script that Tenaya Middle School has written since its founding in 1965. When we talk about culture at Tenaya Middle School, we scrap everything else that has to do with the term culture, and we focus primarily on how our students, how our teachers, how every member of this school treats each other. And that's what we mean by culture. So when we talk about culture at Tenaya Middle School, we're just talking about how we all treat each other, how we all interact with each other, how we feel about being Braves. When you graduate this school as 8th graders, are you going to look back on your memories and say, I loved being a Brave, or my time as a Brave was, I could take it or leave it? If you are in leadership, you are going to have a direct link to when somebody says, I loved being a Tenaya Brave. I loved my experience as a 7th grader and an 8th grader at Tenaya Middle School. You will be responsible for that. So again, if you're interested in being a change maker and being the reason why people love their school, leadership is the place for you. We offer additional electives, ladies and gentlemen. Men's and Women's Alliance, Exploring Speech, Communication, and Art. So if you are interested, before we continue on, folks, the top bubble there, Exploring Speech and Communication and Art. I want to make it clear that those are classes. I should say, let me back up for a second. Those are the same class, but if you apply for Exploring Speech and Communication and Art, know this: one semester will be Exploring Speech and Communication. So you will be taking a class where you will be honing in your skills for public speaking, for communication, for speeches. That is what you will be focusing on first semester. And then the second semester, your class will then turn into an art class. So if you'd like to take either or, know that if you are applying for that, you are applying for both. We also offer a journalism course here at Tenaya Middle School. If you have any aspirations of being a reporter, but either a magazine reporter or a newspaper reporter, if you are interested at all about sharing information, vital information to others, journalism might be the course for you. Exploring media arts, exploring engineering and design. If you are somebody, a tinkerer, a builder, if you are interested in electrical work, if you are somebody that really likes to maybe build your own RC cars or have a very kind of explorative scientific mind, shoot, if you maybe want to be an astronaut one day, exploring engineering and design is certainly the course for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue on here, I'll say this. Again, as part of our information that we're going to share out to your principals, we also will be sharing out a document that explains in detail all of the electives that we provide here at Tenaya Middle School. In other words, if you, for those of us that are old enough to remember, on the back of VCR cases and DVD cases, when you bought a movie, and on the back it would give you information about the movie, kind of a synopsis. We are going to provide you with a document that provides you with a synopsis of all of the electives that we provide here at Tenaya Middle School. So tonight, when you're going through the elective selection tool, and you might have kind of a difficult time figuring out what elective you want to select, know that more information will be coming your way about the electives, about what you do in each class to help you make those decisions. Suffice it to say, you do not have to have your decision finalized tonight. You will have some time before the deadline approaches. So, to that end, ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in 2 electives, again, as I've said, you have the option to take 1 elective, but if you are interested in taking 2 electives, you do have that option, but know this. If you do 2 electives, you're not getting rid of another one of your classes. So that means as a Tenaya Brave, instead of taking 6 classes, if you want to take 2 electives, you would then have to take 7 classes, which means you would have to take a 0-period course, which at Tenaya Middle School is a PE course. So if you are interested in taking 2 electives and doing a 0-period PE, which means if in person, you would be coming to school before the 8:15 a.m. bell, or whenever it is we decide to come back to school, when our new schedules are finalized here over the coming weeks and months. You will be going to PE, at least last year, the way it was, you go to PE at 7 a.m. and you'd get dressed for school as everybody else is getting to school, and then you'd go to your other 6 classes throughout the day. Typically, 0-period PE is for students that want to do Spanish and leadership, or band in Spanish, or exploring media arts and journalism. Again, if you are interested in doing a 2 elective schedule, just know that you are also adding an additional class to your class schedule. But if you want to take that, leap, and if you feel confident in yourself that you can handle a 7-period-a-day workload, which again, very many people do here at Tenaya Middle School, then this would be the link that you would use to display your interest in a 0-period PE class. So again, I'll give everybody a few moments here to write down this information or to use the QR code quickly to open up this application link. And again, folks, if you don't get the application, just know that this information will be provided to you in the coming days from your elementary school principal. Just looking back at my team here, giving me confirmation that everything's still going all right, 47 minutes in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, continuing on. One last bit of information. If you do, before we get into elective selections, if you are interested in joining our leadership team, if you want to take leadership with me here at Tenaya next year, this is also our application. There is a website form, or you can, again, use the QR code. So again, if you want to apply for leadership, take the time now to write down this information. And again, I'll give everybody a few moments to get this website written down or to take a picture of this current screen. And again, folks, do not panic because this information is being recorded and will be shared out with you in the coming days as well. All right, folks. So without further ado, let's get into selecting our electives. The first thing that you're going to need to do in order to access the elective selection tool is go to your students, or students, if you're online with me here too, which I very much hope you are. You are going to go to your Atlas student portal. So please log in right now to your Atlas student portal using your @FresnoU student username and password. Again, just going to provide everybody with a few seconds to do so now. Or again, if you're just listening and you're going to do this later on your own, that's fine too. Maybe taking down some notes about what you need to do. So again, you're going to log into Atlas using your username and password. Hopefully everybody knows how to log into Atlas and knows how to access your username and password. If you're online with us here on Teams, I'm assuming you do. And then once you get onto your Atlas portal, your main student portal, you're going to find the scheduling tab that you can see underneath your picture on your main student portal. As you can see here in our on our presentation, you'll find that scheduling tab right underneath your picture on the left-hand side of your Atlas student portal. And while everybody is finding their scheduling tab, just one bit of information we'd like to share out with everybody at this time is, folks, if you wouldn't mind, just on your own, when we're done here tonight, make sure that you check in and are confirming that your Atlas information is correct on Atlas. If it is not, if you wouldn't mind over the next week or two, or maybe even the next month, before you come to us here at Tenaya Middle School, reach out to your current school site and make sure your information is updated and correct, because the bulk of information that we send out, whether it be mailing things home or calling phone numbers with our weekly teleparent phone calls home that Mr. Tarigian does, we go off the information that is provided off of Atlas. And sometimes if information is old, not updated, or incorrect, you do not get that information, which provides us with disorganization, with miscommunication, and ultimately sometimes frustration. So please make sure that your your information on Atlas is correct, and if not, updated. And beyond that, we'll continue on with our elective selection talk here. So again, the scheduling tab should be below your picture there in your student profile on Atlas. Make sure you're clicking on that. And then once you click on that button, you should come to this page where you should see a couple of things. First off, you should see on that page Tenaya Middle School. Somewhere on that page, it should say that your student is slated to be going to Tenaya Middle School. Now, if your student's portal right now in the scheduling tab says something other than Tenaya Middle School, if it says Wawona Middle School or Scandinavian, Awani, any other middle, Gaston Middle School, whatever a middle school it says, if it does not say Tenaya, then your student, as it stands now, is not slated to go to Tenaya. Perhaps you're on an intra-district transfer. Maybe there's another reason. Perhaps there's even just a glitch in Atlas. Whatever the case may be, ladies and gentlemen, if you plan on going to Tenaya Middle School next year, and on this page it says something different than Tenaya Middle School, you need to make sure you are contacting the Fresno Unified School District Transfers Office immediately, ASAP, sometime this week, if not next week, to update your student's transfer to ensure that they are going to Tenaya Middle School. Because if you're not, if you don't take care of that, then at the very least, our main concern is getting you scheduled here at Tenaya, so then you can then choose your electives as if you are going to Tenaya Middle School. If it says another school on this page right now, then you are choosing from the electives at that middle school, not at our middle school. So again, if you plan on coming to Tenaya and it says a different or middle school there, please make sure you contact our district's transfer office to update your transfer portal or transfer options. And if you have any questions, please contact our counselors, and we'll be giving you their information here in a bit once we finish up. So what you want to do, folks, is based on your options, right? Based on the electives that you want to choose, you're going to go through that list. Again, the list of electives that we provide here at Tenaya Middle School. And as you see them, you are going to click on that plus button next to the name of the elective. Now, as you do that, you'll see that once you click on the plus button, that elective will be shot to the top of the page. And once you shoot that elective to the top of the page, let's see what's on the, once you shoot that elective onto the top of your page, it will start auto-populating into a ranking list. So you'll see here in the example that we've provided you with, if this were your schedule, and if you were to leave this, if you were to leave your electives as it stands right now, your number one elective, the number one elective you would want to be in is art. Number two would be Spanish, 3 French, so on and so forth. Once you put your electives into your ranking window, you can then click and drag on those electives to reorder your ranking. Say, for example, you want to take leadership, but right now it's ranked as number 3. You can click on leadership and drag it up to the top of your list to order it as you want. Also, if you click on an elective on accident, or if you think later on down the line you think, okay, I don't want to do that elective, I want to do something else, you can click on the minus button, and that will remove the course from your ranking list. So what we want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is select up to five electives on your elective selection or on your ranking list. So by the end of tonight, or by the time our deadline comes, we hope that everybody has at least 5 electives ranked on their student portal here on Atlas. The reason being is this: in the off chance that we are not able to put you into the elective that you ranked as your number 1 elective, we still want you to have an option as to what your second choice would be. So say, for example, with the example that we have here on the page, if this person chose to be in Art 1, but oh shoot, Art is filled up. We don't have any more spaces in Art. Okay, well then we are going to hopefully place that student into their second option, which, as they have rated here, would be Spanish. Again, say it's a worst case scenario and we can't put you in your first 2 options. We again want you to have the option for what your third choice would be. And again, in this example, it would be French. So suffice it to say this, folks, please do not only put 1 option in your selected electives window. In the off chance that we're not able to put you in your selected elective, that you still have a voice in what elective you are placed as your second, third, maybe even your fourth or your fifth option. And again, folks, just as a reminder, if you are planning on putting leadership as your number one elective, there is also an application that goes along with that. If you are wanting to put your, if you are interested in being in music and you are wanting to be placed into intermediate band or advanced band, but don't have any experience in that, Mr. Tempest, our band instructor, does cross-reference your band experience from your elementary school years. So we want to make sure that you are putting in beginning band if you are beginning learning how to play an instrument. Please don't, sign up for advanced band if you've never played that an instrument before. We need to kind of start from the ground level for certain things. And also, if you want to do 2 electives, ladies and gentlemen, and you are going to apply for a 0 period PE option, you need to make sure that you're putting the 2 electives that you want to sign up for as your top 2 electives. And if I were you, I would think very, very hard on about if you are not going to be able to get that 0 period elective, or 0 period PE, what elective then would you want to take as your number 1 option versus your number 2 option? Again, if we can't put you in 0 period PE, we're going to go with your number 1 option. So make sure you have your 1 and 2 option very much clear in your head about what you'd rather take versus the other. Hold on, let's go back here. So with all that being said, folks, when you are done selecting your 5 electives and are ranking them in order as you want them, you need to make sure you are clicking the blue button that says Saved Ranked Options before you exit out from that page, because if you do not, your elective selections will not be saved. You will have to go back and start anew. If you do that, and if you don't save your work and you don't go back and start anew and redo your elective selections, then we are going to place you into whatever elective is open when we start scheduling students out here in the next couple of weeks. So again, folks, this is really the main piece of information that we wanted to share out with you today, is how to select your electives on Atlas. And if you have any questions at all, I assume you've been asking them on the question and answer section of this page here. But if you'd like to, if you are wanting to ask questions about anything else, or are wanting to answer or ask questions about, or have any questions that come up in the near future, we have all of our contact information here that we encourage you to maybe take a picture of on your phone, or wait for these presentations to be shared with you from your site administrator, from your principal. Again, we have our academic counselors' emails up at the top of the page under the academic section. Both Eric Vang and Elizabeth Moya are 7th and 8th grade academic counselors. If you have any athletics questions, Mrs. Huggins' email is there, shannon.huggins@fresnounified.org. And if you have any questions about our clubs, about our activities, about leadership, or about anything having to do with Tenaya at all, you could also email me at austin.lemay@fresnounified.org. Again, we are here to help you out, folks. And also, if you have any questions, you could always call our front office, and you will be directed to somebody who can answer any and all of your questions there as well. With that being said, we're also hosting another event tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, where myself and our academic counselors will be made available for all of you to ask any questions in person with us. If you'd rather talk to us face-to-face on a Teams meeting, we will be online tomorrow night, Wednesday, March 10th, from 5 to 7 p.m., and the link for that meeting you can find down there on the bottom left or bottom right-hand side of your screens. So again, folks, if you have any questions and you would rather get them answered by someone face-to-face here on a Teams meeting, again, from 5 to 7 p.m. tomorrow night, myself, Mrs. Moya, and Mr. Vang will be here on Teams answering all the questions that you have that I'm sure I probably accidentally skipped over or went too fast on throughout this presentation tonight. And for that, I apologize. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we also want you to connect with us on social media. Not everything we do here is business. We also have our fun and games and entertaining things that we do. So if you'd like to contact us, folks, first off, our Tenaya Braves football account can be found on Facebook if you look up Tenaya Braves football. And if you're interested in playing football at Tenaya Middle School, start logging on to that Facebook account, DMing our coaches, posting comments on that page, because information about our upcoming season will definitely be coming your way in the coming weeks. And we will also, all of our athletics, not only football, but Mrs. Huggins, myself, all of our athletics coaches will be coming to, or will be providing your elementary schools with information on what to expect for sports when you return to school as 7th graders next year. You can also follow us on Instagram, our Tenaya Braves account at Tenaya Braves 62. You can follow our academic counselors at Tenaya Braves Counseling, and you can also follow our leadership account, which is at Tenaya_leadership 55. And again, folks, if you have any questions, you can contact us at our main office at 451-4570. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our presentation. We want to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight, for taking time out of your very, very, very busy schedules to not only show interest in Tenaya, but also to help you or your students get registered for your electives. Again, folks, we understand that this method, this modality of sharing information is maybe not the best. But we do appreciate all of you attending tonight, being patient with us, giving us grace, and getting the information as best as we can get it to you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at all, I'll go back to our contact page here as well. Please shoot us an email, give us a call, contact us on social media here as well, or show up to our Q&A sessions tomorrow night, where we can answer all of the questions that you have in a much more personal, immediate, and direct way. So with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you so much for being here. We hope you have a fantastic evening. We cannot wait for not only the schools to reopen in earnest, but we especially cannot wait to have all of you future Braves here, in person, walking the halls of Tenaya Middle School again. Shoot, I'm almost getting choked up at the thought of it already. Again, folks, we appreciate you. We very much miss you, even though you're not our students yet, and we can't wait to have you here at Tenaya Middle School to start not only a new school year, but a new beginning for our school here. So again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. We hope you have a great rest of your evening, and have a good rest of your week.
I'm ending it, Austin. Austin, is there anybody else?
Have you ended it?
No, not yet. I can end it right now. There's a couple more questions being asked.
Okay, so folks, if you still have questions, we'll stay online here. We'll keep the event live for a few moments. If you have any questions, you can still ask them on the chat thread. We don't want to block anybody out. I am going to just very quickly cut my microphone off on my end.
Austin, I'll put all this information and the PowerPoint. I can have it up on our website by Thursday morning.
Okay, very good.
So if they want access to the PowerPoint, it'll be available on our website in the scroller.
Very good.
I don't know if they can hear me, so just in case if they can't, you might want to tell them.
Okay, my apologies. Again, So for those of us that are still online here, Mr. Tregan was just telling me there on his end that he will have not only this information, all the information we've shared out to your principals by Thursday of this week, but we will also have this presentation and all of the information we've shared on our scroller on our Tenaya Middle School website by Thursday as well, folks. So any and all information will be available to you on Tenaya Middle School's website from your principals and really pretty much anywhere you look if you go to Tenaya Middle School's website. So again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
We're down to 13.
T, if you'd like to shoot over, if you'd like to just show the PowerPoint and take my face off here, I can cut my microphone off and we can leave the contact information up for our counselors, or should we leave up the information for?
I just cut your mic, Austin. It's just your PowerPoint now, Austin. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, it looks like they've stopped with questions and it's dwindling down to 10. So I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. Can you guys hear me? Oh, wait. Okay, we're down to 8. I'm ending it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.